One drop of its venom is enough to kill a fully grown African elephant. Yet, facing a creature the size of your thigh, the king is trembling. The longest venomous snake on Earth is not the hunter in this forest clearing. It is fighting for its life against a predator it simply cannot bite. This is not a battle of raw strength or toxic chemical warfare. It is a masterclass in physics, deception, and absolute biological exhaustion. The cobra strikes with blinding speed. The fangs hit the target, but they fail to pierce the skin. The mongoose has a dense coat of stiff hair that acts like armor. The sharp fangs simply slide off the coarse fur without injecting any venom. But thick fur alone cannot explain how it dodges a supersonic venomous strike. The snake is fast. But the mongoose possesses dynamic vision that borders on predicting the immediate future. It processes visual information much faster than the human eye could ever register. It reads the muscle twitches of the snake before the strike even begins. The mongoose is already dodging while the cobra is just starting its attack. But speed is just the first layer of this complex survival strategy. There is a deeper tactical game being played in the dry dirt. The mongoose begins to move in a constant, mesmerizing circle around the snake. It looks like a chaotic dance. But every step is mathematically calculated to force the snake to rotate constantly. The cobra must follow the movement, keeping its heavy head elevated to track. The snake relies on anaerobic energy for its explosive, high-speed striking movements. This energy system provides sudden power but depletes rapidly during sustained action. After just a dozen missed strikes, lactic acid floods the snake's long muscles. The cobra is getting exhausted. The mongoose is intentionally draining the giant's stamina with endless circular movements. The king cobra makes a defensive choice that seals its own fate. It raises 1/3 of its heavy body high off the ground. It tries to appear larger and more intimidating to the furry attacker. This classic threat display is actually a fatal structural mistake in this context. By elevating so high, the cobra exposes its vulnerable throat and underbelly. It also throws off its center of gravity, making recovery from strikes slower. The mongoose waits for this exact imbalance to launch its next countermeasure. The snake strikes again, aiming directly for the small mammal's face. The sharp claws move instantly. The mongoose does not use its claws to slash the snake's thick scales. Instead, it uses them as precise deflection tools in mid-air. It swats the snake's incoming head just enough to alter the trajectory. The fangs miss the target by a fraction of an inch, biting empty air. The cobra's head slams into the dirt, entirely drained of its explosive energy. The mongoose suddenly slows down, panting heavily as if it has nothing left. It is a trap. The mongoose is feigning exhaustion to lure the snake into one final, overextended strike. The tired cobra takes the bait and lunges with its remaining fading strength. It misses completely as the mongoose sidesteps with effortless, conserved energy. The heavy snake is now fully stretched out and pinned to the ground. The mongoose bites down instantly. But it does not aim for the exposed neck or the long spine. It drives its jaws directly into the back of the cobra's skull. The mongoose possesses powerful jaw muscles designed specifically to crack hard structures.
Amidst dry leaves and dirt.
The bone shatters instantly under the concentrated pressure of the mammal's bite. This is not just a kill. It is a calculated surgical strike to neutralize the most dangerous biological weapon. Crushing the skull permanently destroys the venom glands located behind the snake's eyes. The King Cobra is completely paralyzed and disarmed in a matter of seconds. The mongoose begins to eat its meal while the snake's heart still beats. The biggest weapon here was never the neurotoxin payload or the raw size. It was aerobic endurance and the intelligence to exploit an opponent's energy limits. The mongoose won by forcing a sprinter to run a long marathon. The hunt is over. The dust settles in the clearing as the small predator claims its prize. Nature does not care about titles like the king of venomous snakes. It only rewards the creature that understands the strict laws of energy expenditure. The mongoose does not fear the fangs because it understands the mechanics behind them. It knows exactly when the muscles will fail and the strikes will slow down. A single miscalculation would have meant instant death from respiratory failure. But the calculations were perfect. The evolutionary arms race created a predator specifically built to hunt this reptile. It turns the cobra's greatest intimidation tactics into glaring physical weaknesses. Every raised hood and aggressive hiss only accelerated the snake's inevitable downfall. The small mammal continues to feed, indifferent to the reputation of its meal. This is the strict efficiency of survival in the dense tropical forests. There are no fair fights, only advantages exploited until one heart stops beating. The cobra's long reign ends in the jaws of a hyperactive, persistent opponent. The meal will sustain the mongoose for days. It will digest the very proteins that were designed to kill it. The venom is harmless when swallowed, broken down by the mammal's stomach acids. The predator will sleep off the heavy meal and prepare for the next encounter. It knows there are more snakes hiding in the thick underbrush. The forest is full of danger. But for this specific creature, venomous reptiles are nothing more than high-protein calories. The size difference was never a disadvantage, it was the key to victory. Being small meant burning less energy to keep moving in constant circles. The cobra was defeated by its own heavy weight and rapid chemical exhaustion. A giant weapon is useless if you cannot afford the energy to swing it. The silence returns to the clearing. The heavy scales are dragged away into the deep shadows of the vegetation. The king of venom died tired. A tiny shadow steps over the crown.